Yo, everyone, welcome in. Hope y'all are having a great day so far. We're not going to be having a crazy long stream today. It'll probably be only like an hour and a half. I don't know how long we're going to go with it, but we'll go a little bit. I don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow. I'm thinking about doing an episode of the podcast. We'll see. I'm pretty tuckered out this weekend. I had a fucking long week of work, so like my energy wise, man, is just fucking oh lordy. But I was thinking about doing a podcast tomorrow to talk some more hockey because I want to. I generally actually like the podcast. It's very chill, like very laid back, easy to do. Like I love doing it. So I think I want to do another episode of the podcast tomorrow. Since there's like some decent amount of news that are coming out. Plus we could do like a we could do predictions coming into this upcoming season where we think everyone's gonna place and all that sort of stuff. But for now, we're going to play some franchise mode, and we are going to play some more Hockey Legacy Manager. Hopefully, we could actually get some good success this time around. Because the last few times we've been super unsuccessful at winning just about anything lately, so. But for now, we're going to play some fucking echoing. Getting the chat up on my phone. Okay, so we're heading into the 2028 off season here with the Minnesota Wild. Do a quick overview since I haven't played. I have to change my roster because it has the wrong roster because it doesn't have the logo for Atlanta. We're also coming into an expansion draft season 2 this year, so we got a lot that's going to be happening in today's video. Very much a lot. We'll pop open this one. I've also been doing something fun. I've been editing rosters lately, so if you guys want to see a chill stream of that, let me know, because I'm editing the 2010 roster right now is what I'm doing. So we could probably do some franchise modes of the 2010s later on. I want to do like some 1980s franchise modes. I want to do like a few historic franchise modes. I don't want to do all current year, just because like with the way that it goes right now, we do one per week. Like, we'll be done a franchise mode in a month and a half, tops, right? So, we'll always do something, but I don't want to always do new gen. So, yeah, we lost once again in the third round here with the Minnesota Wild once again. We can't get any momentum. We get into the third round, and we've been doing great the last 3 years in a row. We've been very dominant as a team. We've had a very similar record. We have came in and we have whooped ass here in the playoffs up until the third round. And either we are facing Edmonton or Colorado, and usually we lose, unfortunately. We lost a big player in the during the playoffs in Alex DeBrincat, who had such a massive season for us and was doing really, really well in the playoffs. You lose him, you lose a big part of your goal scoring. And we just weren't able to shut down defensively against the Edmonton Oilers. They were just able to pepper us with goals. We also lost Jesper Wallstedt, who was also playing absolutely insane during this playoff run. Once again, he was doing really well. So just tons of stuff that just ended up in us losing. Now, we're going to have a pretty big contract season this year as well. Actually, not too many, but we're going to have some players that will potentially be coming up. We do lose a lot of Foligno and, Brody comes off the books this year. Rebuilding the Flames, and Ovechkin retired 6 goals away from passing Gretzky. Holy crow, that was close, eh? Alrighty. Welcome in, Oilers, man. Nice to see you as always, buddy. So, we're heading into year 5 here with the Wild, and what we did in the last episode before we ended things off is we fired the head coach in John Hines. He's been with the team for 5 years now, I guess. Before that he was an extra year, so he's been with the team for quite a bit with the Minnesota Wild, and I liked him. I thought he was doing really well with the team, but I was like, you know what, we need to go in a different direction. We need to look at a different coach that can maybe potentially bring in some better experience to help us with the playoff run. We're going to wait a little bit, see if there's going to be any other kind of head coaches. So we're not just looking at like Derek Lalonde, who didn't do that very well in Detroit. We got Paul Maurice. I don't know really what I want to focus on, whether I want a head like a defensive coach or a offensive guy. Because we had John Hines, who was mostly a balanced type of coach. So we could go with the same approach again. Is go with someone balanced like John Hines. We could go with someone purely offensive, since we got a lot of offensive guns. Or since we're getting absolutely demolished by the Edmonton Oilers most of the playoff runs that we've been on, maybe focus on something that would be a little bit better defensively as well. And maybe Houston's not in this playoffs. I thought they were. Or did they enter in already? Let's see. No, that was the year before that we had Atlanta join in, right? I think this was Atlanta's first year, I do believe. Yeah, this was Atlanta's first year. So that's something I do want to add on right quick, actually, is the next expansion team for not this offseason, but the next offseason. We're adding Houston in to the format. I'm going to go with, I usually go with the Houston Hellcats because it's a pretty cool name. And we'll just put the Kansas City Scouts as their AHL team. So we're going to have the Houston Hellcats join the league here very, very soon. Alrighty, so let's get into what we got going on here. We'll take a look at, we got a lot of players that are going to be coming up. Rabukin is one of them who we drafted way back in our very first draft with the Minnesota Wild, actually. Was back in 2025 when, I think this was the first draft that we did have. And I got to say, we got a pretty good pick relatively out of everyone else that was there. Potter didn't end up. Ratkovich has played a good amount of games. Gavin's turning out to be a pretty good player there in Nashville. So we've gotten pretty fortunate with our first round pick that we did get way, way back. He's developing quite well. It's just, you take a look at the team that we do have right now. We got a lot of players that are playing up in the NHL, so not a whole lot of space. We might even take a look at Pavel Novak. I've been loving Novak. Novak's been a great piece to the team, to say the least, and has been a great producer. We don't know how he will produce for the team either, so that'll be a big question. Did pretty good in Iowa, but we'll have to see how well he'll do in the NHL if we do kind of open up a spot for him. You look at defensively, we got Trethaway, who's going to be ready to jump into the lineup this year, so that means Spence is very much expendable for a player that we could take a look at, see if there's an open option out in the market. Carson Lambos might be somebody of depth-wise. Otherwise, not a whole lot of prospects that we got. A lot of our guys are now, starting to jump into the main squad. Our main focus is still to draft and develop players. Now we're just having an surplus of players, so we could even make a massive trade to take a look. I mean, we have so many even picks this upcoming year. So let's get to the awards, see who wins the Stanley Cup. We will, I guess we'll have to, I should have just, whatever. We'll just, we'll upgrade him to head coach for right now. We'll probably fire him and maybe rehire him or something. We'll go after a whole new staff. It sucks that we lost Wallstead during that playoffs because that was a fucking huge miss for us. And your Florida Panthers, they win another cup here in 2028. I think that's the first time since they won it back in 2024 against the Edmonton Oilers. So Florida once again dominant. Just got robbed of my top 3 pick. I traded Kuzmenkov, Anderson, Marianov, and Ball, Coleman, Mantha, Shuragovich, and Bean in year 1. Oh my god, yeah, and fucking Calgary doesn't have their pick, right? For this year, I do believe. So Florida wins the 2028 Stanley Cup just a year after the Colorado Avalanche won. So we could have been going up against Florida, but unfortunately not. So we got the Hart Memorial. Who's going to win this one? Cale Makar's up there this year. Holy crow. And Nate McKinnon, who will most likely win it. But Cale Makar, that'll be a pretty hard vote. Nate McKinnon wins his 3rd Hart Memorial of his career, tying up with Howie Morenz and Bobby Orr. Could even win another one and tie up with Eddie Shore, so that'd be pretty incredible to see. The Rookie of the Year, we'll take a look. It was a conditional in Montreal. Okay, yeah. Riker Lee this year is up there. I gotta say, Riker Lee, fucking what a beast this year. And not even just that, the playoff run. His first ever playoffs, his first ever year in the NHL was insane. Probably won't win it compared to Tristan Bournes, but 74th or 74 points he wins the Calder there, and Tristan Bournes at 25 years of age He's looking quite well there for Pittsburgh. I think the other awards I would like to look at is James Norris and in the Vezina. So your James Norris, you got Cale Makar, who's a 3-time winner, Adam Fox, a 1-time winner, and you got Charlie McAvoy up there again, but it looks like probably be Adam Fox is my guess. And Adam Fox wins his second James Norris of his career, and then we got the Vezina with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. You got Spencer Knight up there, who had a crazy good season in Hellebuck. And it'll probably be the fellow American there, and Spencer Knight walking away with the Vezina. So, big. We haven't really seen any Canadian goalies win that Vezina at all. I wanted to trade back then, but he his ass decided to retire. Fuck, eh? Well, I mean, that's kind of you know, kind of a storybook ending for Mikael Backlund. Started his career in Calgary, ends his career in Calgary. That's pretty nice. Alrighty, so let's head into the offseason here with the Minnesota Wild. We got the retirement screen. Burns retired Nyquist and Charlie Coyle. No guys that we need to retire from our list. Jeff Skinner retires. He did actually pretty good in Edmonton and then dipped off to Pittsburgh for a few years. Probably during all the years that they were losing and not playing very well, but oh well. Draft lottery, which we know we don't got any first-round pick, nor do we have a second-round pick, so it doesn't really matter for us. But Atlanta, they win the draft lottery, jumping up 4 picks. That will be massive for them winning the draft lottery. So we'll get into our staff, get to signing all of that. So we'll fire a head coach. And now we will take a look at hiring our head coach here this year for the Minnesota Wild. So we got Rod Brendamore, who's out there, a balanced coach. Definitely a little bit better. His power play penalty kill is pretty good. Has a great communicator, which affects a lot of the aptitudes, which is nice. He had some pretty good years there with the Carolina Hurricanes. Very dominant in the regular season. Didn't do very much in the playoffs. You also got Quenneville, who is a contender type of guy, which, I mean, not a bad pick. He done pretty good there in Toronto over the years that he was in there. Doing not a bad record there. Paul Maurice, he went into the finals, and then next year he didn't. He might not be somebody too bad. They're all balanced, and then we got Gromberg, who's the offensive guy who coached there in Europe. And Adrian Oaken's pretty kind of interesting too. I mean, we just did fire him, but we could hire him back. I don't know why we just fired him. We could have taken a look at him, maybe him being the head coach of this team, since there's not too many crazy options out in the market. You know what I mean? Like, the market's not too crazy for head coaches right now. And he's mostly offensive, which is the thing that I'm not a big fan about. Is he doesn't have a great balance. So unless you go with somebody a little bit younger, or we just say fuck it and, you know, throw somebody up there from our assistants, like I was looking at Dennis Seidenberg, or we could even do Brett McLean, who has a balanced approach. He's done pretty good in Iowa over the years. Kind of a win-loss record, but I mean, 14-13 in his offense and defensive abilities, playing not bad. It's either that or we go all in on a coach like like Rod Brendamore or Quenneville or Haynes or Maurice. But we went all in on Haynes, and, you know, he just wasn't the fit. Unless you want to go for O'Coin, who I think probably be the best bet to go with. He was the assistant for the last few years. Definitely has the higher rating than anybody else that we've had. Oh, fuck it. Let's do O'Coin. Probably our best option right now for a head coach is a Dradeen O'Coin. So we'll get him signed up to the team. He's going to be an offensive coach. So we do have a already good guy there. But I think what we'll even do is just, because he's so good on the power play and offensively, I think we'll just hire 2 very good defensive coaches to kind of assist with the team. Even a balanced coach. Yeah, Glenn Anderson, that's perfect. We'll even give you a little bit more money because I actually like your fit for the team. Okay, so our head scout in Christian Rask, I would like to keep. We've been having some really good drafting years over the last little bit, so I would like to try to keep as many of our scouts as we possibly can. You know, it's not too big of a deal if we can't get them all back, but I'd like to get them a decent amount back. Chris Chelios is great for our head physio. That's a cheap contract for Dan Girardi. I don't think a coin has any anything that we could... Well, we can purchase something here, so we could even do clutch. Because we need to be better during the playoffs. It's the biggest thing I want to improve in is our clutchness during the playoffs. So if we could get that active for him, that'd be massive for us. Colin Greening will sign to you as well. Where did I trade away everyone? Who the fuck do I name captain? I guess no one tempted to bring back Bennett and name him captain. You don't even have to really name anybody captain, I guess. You could just kind of leave it blank. And that's what I would probably do. I've even seen that, I don't know if you boys have seen, but Kirill Kaprizov is actually looking to be traded out of Minnesota. I don't know if you guys seen that, but he has a massive interest in going to Chicago. Which is absolutely fucking wild. Of course, we locked him up in this universe, but I was like, man, I want to take a look at his contract. I'm like, 7 years. I'm like, oh yeah, and no movies. We're never going to be even to trade him or anything. So he's kind of stuck on the team. Stuck on the team now. Even though he dropped down to like an 88, so that's kind of the biggest bummer, but oh well. Let's get into the draft, and then we'll get into free agency here. I think I don't think we really have to make any trades because we have a lot of contracts coming off the books. And even if we have to re-sign the player, we can RFA them, so it's not like that big of a deal. Jesper Wallsted's the biggest guy that we got to re-sign, but he's not a RFA, or he is an RFA, so that's not that big of a deal. So let's just start it up. We don't have any late... We only had the late draft picks this year, so nothing that we could really do. We're just going to sim. I think that's the best bet, unless we can maybe see that there's a trade option that we can make to really... Holy shit. Austin Matthews? If he's fucking available... If he's available at free agency, dude, that is insane. If he's available, that would be absolutely insane. They got $12 million. He's coming off the books. The game has been pretty stingy with how cap is, so I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. Already, Madux Schultz going to Atlanta, and DeMckenio going to St. Louis as we will sim to our pick. I already see a guy that I like, another offensive defenseman, of course. Either that or we could go after a goalie, but we already got our goalie locked in, so Lloyd Barr. Yeah, get the next fight. But the thing is, like, Kaprizov has no movement, so we really can't do anything with Kaprizov, unfortunately. We're kind of stuck with him. Barr, medium top 4, not bad. You know what? A little European there here in Evan Braden. But Matthews would be absolutely insane. The thing is, we have so many snipers, it's not even funny right now. But if we get out Austin Matthews, that changes up the entire fucking game here, man. Like, that would change up the entire team, universe-wise, if we could get Austin Matthews. But that's the problem. Would he want to come to Mini, right? Like, he's an American-born player, but does he want to come play in Minnesota? So, our drafting is not going very good. There's not a whole lot of great, you know, projected players that we can draft right now. We're just taking guesses here. Yeah, we're just going to send this draft. There's really nothing of appetizing that I really... Oh, we did get Jefferson, medium top 6, but the only really interesting guys is Barr, Brandon, and then Jefferson, who were the only interesting picks that the Minnesota Wild were able to get. Alrighty, so we got $13 million in cap space and all these players to sign. Holy crow. Oh, Minnesota's so far away from Arizona. So we had $13 million to try to fit every player underneath of our books right now. I don't even know where to even start with this. We were talking about keeping Merritt and trading away Joel Eriksson X since we just got Kirby Dach, right? Since we got Kirby Dach. Now, of course, we can't trade away Joel Eriksson Ek because he has no movement clause. But I'm thinking about buying the guy out because of the fact that you take a look at our cap hit, right? You got Rossi this year and you got Kirby Dach up the center. We want to keep Kirby Dach. I think Kirby Dach was absolutely insane on that second line. He was an amazing player, playoff-wise for us. Very good second line guy for the team. Joel Eriksson Ek, on the other hand, he's been very good. He's been, very competitive on the team. But when you got a guy like Merritt who can replace Joel Eriksson Ek in the defensive category, and we got so many other guys that are coming up the pipeline, up the center core, Joel Eriksson Ek becomes very, very much expendable for the team. It sucks that we're going to have to buy him up, but we need some extra money right now. So 1.7, we're going to buy him out. Release some cap hit on the books. I was even thinking Mario Fierro we could trade away too. That could help relieve some pressure off our books for defense core. But we're going to be trading away Jordan Spence anyways with Trethway coming up. So we don't have to sign everyone. We're just going to sign the guys that we absolutely need to sign to the team. Which I don't think is really anybody. Brody, we're not keeping. Goudreau, we're not keeping. Yeah, fucking. Right, we can just make our deals that we want to make, which Jesper Wallstedt is the big one. We want to keep this guy for the rest of his career. That is the whole goal with this this contract here with Jesper Wallstedt. He's been on the team since day one. We stole him away somehow from the Edmonton Oilers. What the hell is Seattle doing? Mine signing 4 goalies in one day. Anderson, Kemper, Ferguson, and Sandstrom. Holy crow. Stacking up in that goalie department. We will get him to a $2.51 million deal for Jesper Wallstedt at 8 years. So locking him up. Ow. Oh. Oh, man. I'm still so sore from playing hockey yesterday. Holy crow. So Liam Algren was my biggest question. I've not been a big fan of him. And with Ivan Rabukin coming up, I kind of want to play him a little bit more. So Algren's going to be a qualifying offer. We'll see what we want to do with him. We're just going to actually simulate a day just to get Jesper Wallstedt on the team. And then that's qualified. So now we know how much money. We got 8.8. So Novak, I think I want to re-sign Novak. Novak's been a great piece to the team. Great depth piece, great playmaker, just overall a great player for the team. We could play him alongside Riker Lee. We could play him alongside DeBrincat. He's been playing great alongside DeBrincat. So would love to bring him back into the team for the next 4 years. Keep him as a Minnesota Wild. And that's the same with Merritt. I want to give him a big long-term deal to get him locked up for the next 5 for $4 million as well. Get him locked up. Now we don't got no more money. So now we just got to qualify everybody else that we can qualify and then make some trades. I think that's going to be the biggest thing right now is because we don't have a whole lot of cap. Like, we got nothing for cap. Well, fuck it. We'll keep Marcus Foligno on the team. Modify no trade clause. Sure, why not? Keep him on the team. See who else we can keep depth-wise. Raska, Helvik, 8. Might have some players like Pippa Ryan might be ready to go here soon. Some prospects that are developing slowly. So we got everyone qualified that we could. Vasilevsky, we're not bringing him back to Minnesota. He was not what we expected, unfortunately, for what we traded. I mean, not like we really traded away anything. Henry Brusewicz, and then we basically traded a first-round pick, which ended up not really being any of worth anyways. So let's get on to free agency. A lot of guys qualified. We got to figure out what we want to do here in Minnesota. And holy shit. You got Austin Matthews available in free agency day. That does change a lot here. Now, the problem is I don't want to trade away everybody and then end up not getting Austin Matthews during free agency day is my only concern here. We got no money to really talk about. The one player that we can automatically trade away that we know we can, and that won't really have any repercussions because we have Trethway coming up the pipeline, is Mr. Spence. With Trethway coming up the lineup, we really don't need Spence anymore. We're just going to get some picks because we don't really need to worry about making a big deal. Yeah, we'll do Florida because Florida's not in our division. They're in the East, so Jordan Spence to Florida. That'll be the big deal that we wanted to exactly make. And now we got him kind of coming up. Another guy that I have not really been liking is Brock Faber in his contract of being an 86 overall. That's like really my only complaint about Brock Faber is otherwise he's not that bad of a defenseman. It's just right now we almost need to look at a defenseman to kind of help build up this team. Maybe trade Fiaro, yeah. I think if anything, Brock Faber, I would like to trade away and then try to replace him with another defenseman. Because what we could honestly do is, free agency wise, there's Dougie Hamilton. There's nothing really available to. I mean, we could trade to go after like a Oliver Bonk here from Philly, who barely even played him this year. I don't think we got anybody that's coming up the pipeline that's going to be, unless Trethaway takes a massive jump up, right? But could trade away Mario Ferrero too and then keep Brock Faber. I mean, just that contract's kind of abysmal. He's been playing really well defensively. I don't know if we're going to be able to really afford Austin Matthews, to be honest. Unless we trade away Kirby Doc, but I like Kirby Doc. Unless we trade away Rossi, but who in the right mind we trade away a player like Rossi? Yeah, man, we're just kind of tight on the cap, eh? Fuck. I think Brock Faber would be the only guy that you would take a look at trading to potentially bring somebody back. Like, I was thinking about trading away Ogren, but would that bring in someone that could be a defenseman that could help the team? That'd be the only way. We need to secure a defenseman before we even think about making a trade here, because that would be the only way that I would actually think about making a trade, is securing a defenseman 86 or higher that can play on the team, that's not old, a decent age. Even at an age of 30, I wouldn't mind. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even mind that. Even I wouldn't mind trade away Fierro. Yeah, just play no defense challenge. Just go all offense. We already did that with having a Dradian O'Coin as our fucking head coach. He's pure offense. So that's why, like, Matthews would, surprisingly, he would, not surprisingly, he would fit this team very, very well. Nothing there in New York. Ottawa. Shabbat is available, but he has no movement, so can't really do anything about that. Philly, they got a few goalies available. They do got a whole crap ton of young guys that can be traded away, like Drew Shook. They do got Travis Sanheim. They do got Bonk, who could develop a little bit, but you have to sign him to a contract. We do need a right-handed. Oh, do we need a right-handed? Yeah, we do need. The Trethaway, Bob down Fierro. We could, honestly, yeah. We could do Drew Shuck from Philly. You want, yeah, fuck that, dude. You want Marco Rossi, dude? Fuck me. I don't know who you think you are, but fucking Drew Shuck for Marco Rossi? I think you're kind of on the copium, brud. I think you're doing some drugs that you shouldn't be doing. Dylan Holloway, Premu, Tampa Bay. Nothing in Tampa Bay. Toronto, nothing in Toronto. Could even sign Austin Matthews back. Shurgachev, once again available, but I don't think we could even trade for him because he has that no trade clause, so that kind of sucks. Nothing in Vancouver. You got Hannafin, but he won't be able to be traded away because of no movement. Could go after Korzak. If you want to go more defensively. Cheap contract too, which is actually kind of nice. So that could be somebody. Take a look at Korzak. Could be a appetizing kind of thought. Even Chikrin at the age that he's at is not a bad option. They don't even want, they want just mostly young guys. So we could even do Chikrin. The AAV is a little expensive, so that's the problem, dude. We have to find someone that's at least cheap. Dude, we can't have... That's going to be a hard find. Like, I think Washington kind of has that perfect guy for us. You know what I mean? They do have that kind of Nice, cheap player. Not at an expensive AAV. Not at a crazy price. That's the thing, will we find somebody like that? That's kind of the big question. Weaker, but he's definitely going to drop for sure. Not a whole lot available defensemen to even trade for anyways. Not a lot available for defensemen. Flames rebuild has been messed up. Signed Granlund to a 1 year, $3 million, just dropped to an 80. Oh my god, dude. Fuck, eh? Dallas. Ooh, okay, Dallas. Thomas Harley. You don't want to trade any of them to us? Okay. Well, I guess Dallas is a divisional team, so that is pretty understandable. Detroit. They've been having defensemen available almost constantly. It's a lot of offensive defensemen. Tons of offensive defensemen. Holy shit, Detroit. It's pure offense there. We're getting up to our team. Gustav Forsland, but he has a no movement clause. We can't really do anything. We just traded Spence to them. Nothing else really there that I would be tempted for. LA. Nothing. So the two teams that are only really appetizing me is Philly and Washington. Philly's a contender, so you're going to have to trade one of your big roster players away. And they're tight on the cap. Vegas, I can see being a little bit more realistic. I could find that we can make a trade work with them a little bit better. Because they're retooling, so they're going to want young players that could play up on their main roster, especially their offensive core. And defensively, they do got some guys that are going to be jumping up into the main core this year that are defensive defensemen, so I can see why they would want to trade away Korzak, and they're going to be trading away Korzak. So, I think the way that we go with this deal is we trade him a defensive prospect and Yoho Pemparainen, and then we trade them one of our other guys that are an RFA, so like Liam Malgren. We could even pick up a little bit more if we really wanted to. Not like a 2-mile hurdle, because that'd be pretty expensive. But we could even make a bit of an extra deal, bring somebody else in if we wanted to, but I don't think anybody's really that appetizing, so we could get a second. So Yoho Piparainen, Liam Malgren for Kaden Korzak in a second. We could almost just do probably just straight up fucking Algren for Korzak. No. Let's guess it not. Let's do Yoho Piparainen and then a second. So yeah, Algren Piparainen for Kaden Korzak. They'll bring in a cheap contract onto the team, and that's exactly what we want, a defensive defenseman who could play a very good defensive game. We're going to lose a good offensive piece in Brock Faber, but with Trethaway coming in, I think we're going to do just fine. We're going to really bulk up this defense core so we can go after a player like, maybe we could even actually do retention on Korzak and just try to get a little bit just cheap as we could possibly can get it. There we go. So 990, that's all it hits us on the cap. We got Korzak on the team now. So now we could do like Reiner Work, Faber, or Reiner Work, and then Korzak, or even Goulet. We could do Trethway with Rourke. Whatever we kind of want to do, we could do. And I really don't want to trade away Brock Faber because I love Brock Faber, but he's just not been developing at all here in Minnesota. He has not been the guy that I've been kind of wanting him to be. You know what I mean? Like, Porter Montana, he's the 4th overall selection. He's just not been doing anything, eh? Now they want to trade him to us. I kind of want to take a little bit of a risk and see what we could do with him, but, you know, I kind of like the aspect of that. Fucking bringing in a left-handed defenseman who could develop a little bit, and Martone. I mean, you're rebuilding, so why buy him out? I would wait to buy him out until a little bit later on. Honestly, is what I would do. Oh, so you would be under the cap? Why are you doing the trade with me then? Dumbasses. If we get Austin Matthews, DeBrinket's going to be a guy that we could probably trade away. I'm kind of happy we didn't sign him to anything too crazy. Because if we get Matthews, DeBrinket might have to be a trade guy. Just so we can relieve up some more cap hit. Okay, so Brock Faber. We're not trading you to that team, I guess. We're gonna have to trade to somebody else, which I was seeing Buffalo, I think it was giving us a first round pick. Yeah. Either that or Andrew Basha to Calgary, but we're gonna trade him to Buffalo to another East Coast team. If we could actually make the fucking deal. Jesus, Murphy. Get a team actually come at us with some actual cap hit here. I'll take Elick in a fourth. Fuck it, man. At this point, team with cap, I'll take it at that point. So how much does Matthews want for his contract? That's the biggest question I got to take a look at. He wanted $11.3 million. We got 12.7. So we got enough cap hit. We hopefully might get Austin Matthews. If not, we got to have a plan B here. What's going to be the plan B? Are we going to go after Kachuk? Are we going to do a trade? Are we just going to stick with the roster and try to build up the depth? Which I think might be kind of the game plan. If anything, if we don't get him, we build up the depth as much as we can. We do have Korzak coming in the lineup with Trethaway, so we do have the right hand. We could either do left or right, so whoever we think could be a good fit for the team after the Matthews signing, then we could go after. But I want to see if we get Matthews, man. That's exactly what I want to see. I want to hope that we can get Austin Matthews. We're going to give him a buttload of money. As much as we possibly can. Give him our whole cap. I want to give him at least $12.529 million to Austin Matthews. We're the first one in line. We are like, hey, Austin Matthews, we want you to come win a fucking cup here in Minnesota. We want you to come play in this team. We got some great pieces. We got you some great players that you could play alongside of in Kirill Kaprizov. We got Marco Rossi. We got Matthew Baldy. We got some insane level players, Matthews. All right, buddy? We got some fucking players that you would love to play alongside of. So come on down to Mini. Let's see what you can do here in Minnesota. And he signs with the Minnesota Wild. Austin Matthews is a Minnesota Wild. Holy shit, boys. We have just done the biggest signing ever here in the NHL history. We signed him to a 7-year, $12.529 million deal, and now we got ourselves a top 5 center at the age of 30, just kind of coming into his prime. He had an injury-riddled season. This is the biggest deal. Holy shit. Okay, so now we got to go towards plan B, and DeBrinket is a tradable asset. And we got to clear up some more cap now. We got to make some more deals. DeBrincat, we got to trade you away. Let's see if we could get somebody that could actually kind of help the team out a little bit this year. Even defensively, I wouldn't mind. We got Ethan. Oh, he's a power forward for the future. He's actually done pretty good there. That's been in New Jersey and another first-round pick. Fuck it, why not? Do they not have the cap? They don't have the cap, of course. So we could go after a defenseman that they have. They don't really have anybody to trade away, so can't really make a deal with you guys. So, yeah, watch him sign a rival. I know, I was just thinking now, I'm like, once that thing came up and we said he got him, I'm like, oh my god, what a relief. Like, holy shit. That is awesome. Ooh, a two-way forward. Sounds like he doesn't have the money, though. Unless we could pick up a player that's not too crazy. Klim Kostin might not be a bad idea. Depth power forward. And even if we don't want to keep him, we could trade him away later on. Maybe get a little salary retention on him. I don't think they have any. Oh, they have some. They got Colorado. They haven't had any in a bit because they have been pretty mediocre over the last few years, but they do have some rivals. So Alex DeBrincat for Oscar Holmertz, who will be a nice depth forward for this team this year. We're picking up Luca Cognia, and then Klim Kostin is coming to the Minnesota Wild. And there we go. Another big deal here for the Minnesota Wild, as we have just been slinging deals all over free agency day, as we did, 3 big deals? Still probably more to come. I mean, we got to sign these guys to deals too, but we'll wait on these guys because we just picked up a ton of players, and we might not need some of them, so we might still have more deals kind of on the way, because we got so many players that we just don't have enough space. We traded away Jordan. The first move we made was trading away Spence to the Florida Panthers because we have Treadway coming up. Release a little bit of cap. We got Kane Korzak to play in the depth for the Minnesota Wild to kind of help us out. All we traded away was Pip Ryan and Onogren. And then we got Connor Elak in the trade that we traded away for Brock Faber. And then we picked up a whole crap load of players in Hallmarks, Cognia, Costin, in a third and a fourth for DeBrincat in a second. So some big deals here been made here in Minnesota. So with that, honestly fills up majority of our depth, because what you're going to have probably Lee, Rossi, Rabukin, and then Haight, Doc, Novak. Wouldn't even mind a depth goal-scoring sniper, but with Costin, you probably play Costin or Holmartz. You might be playing depth-wise. I think the only pickup we need to make is to get a goaltender in defense, which we could just re-sign Spotcheck. I mean, I do want a two-way defenseman, and Spotcheck did play pretty good for the Minnesota Wild this past year. So I did like him when he was playing for us. So I think keeping him on the team, why not? He's a pretty useful player here for the Minnesota Wild. Let's keep him on the team. And then Bankier and Lorenz, I think they're kind of open trade options. We don't really have the cap to sign them back onto the team, so they're kind of open assets for us. Goaltending, we do need a goaltender, but we need something that can fit underneath 2.5. So we could go after Prozetsov, who played a little bit in the NHL. Not the greatest record, though. Not very many good goaltenders. It's either that or Neaton. Neaton actually does pretty good, so fuck it. Fuck it. Sign him. 2.1. And then before we even get somebody calling about Bank here or trying to give him a contract, we're just going to trade him off for some picks. Easton Cowan. Yeah, sure. And a 3rd round pick. Fuck yeah. Why not? That'll actually give us somebody that we can use for the future. And then we need to trade away Lorenz, who I really did like Lorenz. I thought Lorenz was a pretty good player for the depth. Played pretty well defensively. But when you got Klim Kostin and then you also got Holmartz now coming up, you really do not need him anymore. The only trade is Jan Chavan and a 3rd. Why not? Now we got a whole crap ton of picks coming into this upcoming season, funny enough. So if we want to make some big deals, like we really can. We got 2 firsts, we got a ton of 3rds, 4ths, tons of picks that we can make some deals with. So let's get off to the Hall of Fame. Neaton signs the deals. We got Jesper Wallstedt and him now. Tons of players entering into the Hall of Fame. So more than what we've had last year. And I think Marc-Andre Fleury, he's got to go in first year. He's got to go in this year. I think Habib Whelan too. I actually loved Habib Whelan. Even when he signed with the Edmonton Oilers, I loved him. But he just was so injury riddled. It was not the best time for us to get Habib Whelan. And then Bernie Nichols went up. Okay, so Marc-Andre Fleury, Habib Whelan, and Pat Verbeek all retire for this class. We'll get into the next season, see who massively jumps up. I'm hoping Rabukin jumps up massively this year. But we'll kind of see what happens. We'll see who develops, see who doesn't. Jefferson, Riley Haight jumps up to an 80 overall. Holmartz jumps up to an 85 overall. Kirill Kaprizov jumps back up to an 890. Matthews jumps up to a 93. Guilford up to an 80. Okay. Okay. Oh, not Ryan O'Rourke. Son of a bitch. What a son of a bitch. Oh, I knew he was going to do that too. I knew he was going to do that. Every motherfucking time, man. Every goddamn time I have a player that randomly jumps up, and then once they hit, like basically hit into their prime, they drop by 2 overalls. Fucking bastard, man. Well, Brock Faber didn't fucking jump up on us. No, he's still at an 86. So I guess we are going all offense this year. As the way that this core is looking like, we are going to be going pure offense unless we make a trade. Because, I mean, we got Riley Haight and Rossi that we can easily trade away to pick up an offensive guy. Or a defensive player. If there's any available. God damn, bro. Like right when we're thinking we're doing good, we just lose our, like, we have our top defenseman drop down a little bit. And now we're like, okay, fuck, I guess we'll have to figure something else out then, or look at something otherwise. But every time we have looked, there hasn't been anybody that's been like, oh, that's going to be a crazy good defenseman for this team. You know what I mean? Like, I think we've looked at this many, many times over the past few years trying to find somebody that can be that big-time defenseman for this team. We haven't really been able to find. So I think we're just going to have to really rely on Austin Matthews just being so massive for this year. There's not a lot of players that, you know, are available that are like, oh, that's a great-looking player. Brett Bedard, who had an insane season, goes over to Pittsburgh. Man, Pittsburgh's just, they're growing a pretty deadly fucking team, honestly. Pittsburgh's a team to watch out here for the next little bit. The rebuild's going pretty good, and they just picked up Bedard. Evans wouldn't be bad, but that's only like 1 overall more, and it's an offensive defenseman, so that really doesn't change anything. Like, if anything, I would like an 88 overall or at least an 89 for this team. That's what I would like to look at. Yeah, I think we're just shit out of luck here, man. I think we're just going to have to go with what we got for our decor and just hope that it's enough. And hope that at free or at the deadline there's something available that we could look at. We tried to draft and develop an insane looking defenseman. Oh, wait. Ooh, wait. Ooh, wait. Insane? Man, what the hell is the Flames wanting to trade away for? Tons of offensive defensemen. They want that much for Logan Hensler? I think Zane Parecki might be the guy to kind of go with. He could be a huge offensive defenseman for the future. And, I mean, they got a stacked core, so that's why, like, they could see them train away Zane. And then we could really help bolster their offensive core up a little bit. So, Calgary's something of interest here. I know we're in, like, the same West Coast, but we could both really benefit from a good trade. A good trade between both teams, we could really benefit each other. Like, we could pick up a top pairing defenseman in Zane. Even though he's an offensive defenseman, you know, we can get our top level guy that we want to get on this team. and we could give them a top offensive guy for their team. So that might be the way to go here. I know Edmonton doesn't have any D, so... Yeah, I think that's the way to go. It's Calgary. Let's hit up Calgary. I think I already liked one of the deals that they were offering me. So Zane Pareke. Now, it's either we trade away Marco Rossi or we trade away Riley Haight. Riley Haight has a cheap contract. He played a little bit in the playoffs for us, and he didn't do that bad. This year, he jumped up to a big overall. Marco Rossi, on the other hand, is a free agent this year. He's been a great producer for the Minnesota Wild. He's going to be asking for a big payday. And since we got Zane Pareke, is it really smart? Because we're going to have to pay Pareke as well. He's going to want the same type of deal compared to who we have already in Riley Haight, who is on a long-term deal, a lot younger. I think Riley Haight will be pretty good this season. I've really liked him. He's played pretty well. Playoff-wise, he wasn't too bad. Played actually pretty well defensively for the team. You know, I think that's the move. Marco Rossi's been on the team for a while, but, you know, 3 in a row years where we made it into the conference finals and we haven't been able to kick the boot. We got to make some serious changes. We can't be like the Toronto Maple Leafs, staying loyal to the same fucking players over and over again. We got to make the changes when we got to make the changes, and now this is the time where we make some changes. I will retain a little bit of Rossi's contract to make it fit underneath the books. Should I trade Martin Pareke for Gavin and Bedard? Why not? Oh, fuck. I say, why not? So, Zane Pareke for Marco Rossi and a second-round pick. So, we actually don't even really have to trade away the second-round pick. We could probably just do it straight up for Rossi for Zane. Will that go through? Yes, it will. And now we got that big top-pairing defenseman that we've been dreaming about here in Minnesota. We got Zane. Zane, the big-time Pareke, who hopefully will be that big-time defenseman here for your Minnesota Wild. We'll have to pick up a depth guy for the depth here as well, since we traded away Rossi. I'd actually like a sniper for the depth, but I don't think there's anybody available sniper. Oh, there is Anthony Duclair. Not a big-time overall guy, but we don't need anybody crazy overall-wise, so I just need somebody to kind of help with the depth a little bit. So, second-round pick for Duclair. We'll pick back up a 4th. Maybe not. That fucking takes up a lot of value, apparently. Actually, is there anybody in free agency before I do this? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We just signed somebody in free agency here for 2.3. We could just get Robbie Fabry back in Mini. We've had him before. Why not? Why the heck not get Fabro back in Minnesota? We'll get a goalie, depth goalie too. Okay. So, tons of deals. I think we made the most deals we possibly ever have done here in the franchise here in Minnesota. We have picked up Austin Matthews. We picked up Zane. We have done a lot of moves to hopefully bolster this roster up a lot. And a lot. You know, coming into the season here with the Minnesota Wild, we came in with a lot of disappointment, you know? 3 years in a row where a team has lost in the conference finals over and over and over again is getting quite annoying here in Minnesota. I will say that. It's annoying that every time we walk into this World Cup, oh, I forgot even the World Cup was going on and didn't even see that, but we had tons of players actually. We'll go check that out. I think this is the second one, yeah. USA wins the cup. Well, that's crazy. Jack Hughes, silver medal going to Canada. But you got Kirill Kaprizov getting 8 points. Matthews, 7 points, point per game. Novak doing great for his team. I think that's the Czech Republic. Matthew Baldy not doing too bad. And Jesper Wallstedt playing crazy good for Sweden, giving them a bronze medal. Awesome. Connor Bedard, welcome. Oh my god, you got Connor Bedard. Holy, oh, for Bedard, you traded away your whole team just to get Bedard in Calgary. Holy shit, dude. Oh wow, fucking, I'll bring some names to the, some seats, or I'll bring some players, or some fans into the seats if I can speak some English. Alrighty, so this year with the Minnesota Wild, we've changed up a lot. A whole crap ton. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have to change some of our captaincy, Baldy. And then I think we'll make our other player Reiner work. Actually, you know what? No, not Reiner work. Matthews. I want to make Matthews the alternate for this team. So, the top line of Kaprizov, Matthews, Baldy, I want to go with it. I want to lock that in this year. I want to see how well they'll do. Lee, Height, and Doc, I want to see how they do as well. I want to give them a try. Kostin, Holmarts. We could even do Fabro up there, and then we could do Kostin, Kusadinov, and Pavel Novak. Novak's getting, I don't know if I really want to demote him. That's kind of my thing, as I want to see how Novak will do with Fabro and Holmarts. We'll lock him in there. Defensively, Pareke, I hope he will continue to develop here for your Minnesota Wild. Right before we even hit the season is I want to basically do a signing trade. Ooh, maybe we could wait. Maybe we could wait. So Goulet, Pareke, Korzak, Reinwork, Fierro with Trethaway, and then Wolstead as our goalie for this upcoming season. It's not a bad looking team. I'm actually quite excited for this team to see how well we'll do. It's going to be a big season here for your Minnesota Wild. We have a lot to prove. We have very much a lot to prove here with this team this year. You know, we've lost a lot of players. We're definitely not as deep as we've been in previous seasons. But I'm ready to see. We got the new coach there in Odradian O'Coin, who's stepping up as the head coach for the Minnesota Wild this year. So we'll see how well he will do. He's a big offensive coach. He's a contender type of guy. So we'll see how well the Minnesota Wild will do this upcoming season. So I'll assign everyone. It's the best line, Gagne. Hempel Simon in. Reiner Ritchie gets injured right off rip. 4-4 to start off the season. 4-5 to start off the season. Not the greatest start. Top line is, they're getting a lot of offense. We'll give them a few more games. See if they can turn it around. If they can, we'll make a few line changes. But 4 losses in a row. And then we come out with some big time wins. We will save our picks for right now. I don't want to get a depth player for a second round pick. Time to go for his cousin and Gavin McKenna. Man, 27 points for Kirill Kaprizov as we are really ripping it up right now. I think we'll jump up easily in the stands without even making any lineup changes. We might have to, though, is the way I'm kind of seeing. But Kaprizov, Baldy, and Matthews absolutely just ripping it up. Doc, they're playing pretty good defensively. We might change up the depth a little bit, though. What we might do is do Kostin. We'll try Kostin with Holmarts and Novak. Defensively, Goulet. Goulet with Pareke is pretty good. Ryan O'Rourke. Not bad. How's Jesper Wallstead doing this year? 904. He's been playing every game by accident. Oopsies. Probably why we're doing really trash is because we're playing Jesper Wallstead like absolutely every single game. Let's keep it going. We're 7-2-1 this past month, so we're doing pretty good right now. Definitely could be a lot better defensively, but we're scoring so many goals to the point where it's just like, holy shit. Like, Kaprizov's having an unreal season. Like, Matthews is still doing pretty good. Doc. That change up with Kostin going up there was not very good. The depth is the only concern right now for me, is trying to find something that works for the depth. I think, honestly, what we might do is do Novak back up with Lee. We'll see how that'll go. We'll do Fabro with Holmarts and Doc. See how that goes. We could even do Rabukin if we wanted to up there. And then Goulet and Pareki. How are they doing still? Zane's playing pretty good. Like, I'm actually pretty impressed with how he's doing. We definitely need some better goaltending, though. The goaltending needs to turn itself around here. We just paid Jesper Wallstedt a massive deal, so. I get you have only been captain for 48 games, but Bedard deserves it better. Fuck, eh? Get Bedard. All right, he's captain. Fuck you, Uyghur. Get out of here, bud. You're not captain no more. Okay. I think we're gonna disconnect that top line. We're gonna throw Novak up at the top line, actually. Hang on. There we go. We've already been live for an hour. Holy shit, time's flying by right now. Probably won't be live for too much longer, but we'll try this out. Baldy with Matthews and Novak. And then Lee with Haight and Kaprizov. We'll give that a try. See how that does. See if a little bit of a line change will help the team out a little bit. Adam Lowry, we don't need to do any trades right now. Nor would he even fit on our team right now, so. Just need to continue to win some games here. We got a new coach in O'Coin, so I'm not expecting the craziest season from him, but big time injury. I guess we'll put Doc up with them, I guess, now. Big 5-0 win. Baldy's back in the lineup, so we'll get him back up there. We'll get everyone back in their lines. How's Novak doing up on that top line? He's not doing too bad. Baldy was playing the last few games when he was. He's not done. Matthews still playing amazing. Fucking unreal season for Matthews. That's why we picked him up, man. We picked him up to be unreal. I'm just hoping that Zane Pareke jumps up past an 86 so we don't have another elite player stuck at an 86 overall. That's my hope, especially what we paid for him. I mean, Marco Ross, he was a big piece to the team, so we're hoping that same kind of energy from him. Spot check Chetaway. Okay. Keep on simming. Loss. Oh my god, dude. Where are we sitting at? We're in a wild card spot with we're not even doing that bad. We just need to play a lot better defensively than what we're doing. That's the biggest thing, is we need to play a lot better defensively. We need Jesper Wallstedt to actually play good. Maybe we'll make a change here, and we'll send down Neaton, and we'll call up Guilford, who's actually been doing not bad there in the AHL. We'll give him a chance up here in Minnesota, and we'll give him maybe a little bit more games. We'll throw Ryan O'Rourke up to the top pair. What I'm thinking about doing is doing Riley Haytham on that top line. And we'll send down him. We'll do Doc with Lee and Kaprizov. Novak with Holmarts and Costin. Costin hasn't been doing great, so maybe we'll throw Merritt up there. See what they can get going. Or even Fabry instead. See if we could just get something a little bit more going here in Minnesota. You know what I mean? A month recovery now for Novak. Fuck me, man. We're just not getting lucky this season. And Jesper Wallstedt's just been a piece of shit this year. Like, honestly, low-key, he has been absolute dog shit. I don't even know if it's the bad defense, because we have the same defense as last year. Maybe it's the same different system and relying more on the goaltender. But I don't know, man. This year has just been kind of trash. Compared to other seasons, we've been playing a lot better. There we go. We lit a fucking little fire underneath of our ass and really started playing good there. Fucking 9-1 with a 7-game winning streak there. That's exactly what I wanted to see. We needed to turn on the Jets a little bit better, and we definitely did. Look at that. Fucking holy shit. Olaf Guilford, 4 games in, a 943 save percentage. We might have a new guy. Holy crow. Fuck it. Let's keep her going. I'm not even going to look at the stats. I want to see how they'll do with playing 50-50. I want to see if we could get some more success here, man. Because, I mean, if we could continue to put up an insane record, that'd be absolutely awesome for us. And Rybukin's been finding his spot, so thank goodness. Starting to slow down a little bit there, yeah. Fucking, we'll go back to what was working. All right, Minnesota, 73 points, plus differential of 36. We definitely have one of the most the highest goal-scoring teams in the league, which is impressive, but we got to play a little bit better defensively. Austin Matthews has been incredible this year. 79 points in 59 games. Baldy, Kaprizov, Riley Hate's been pretty good this year. Doc, Riker Lee. The depth is the biggest question that I've been having this year. I don't know how big of a fan I've been of Klim Kostin. Jesper Wallsted's been jumping back up, which is good. Zane Pareki's been playing good. Let's get up to the deadline and then maybe make a deal. A little bit of a slow start to the year, but man, we've been kind of churning on the Jets out of the last little bit. 39, 22, and 4. Let's get into the deadline. We already know what we got. We already know what we got. We can make some big deals if we wanted to. So let's take a look at what we can find here at the deadline. So with our depth chart, I definitely do want to improve our depth. I don't know why Konstantinov fucking dropped, but he did. Got him bullshit, but oh well. A guy that we could get for a year deal, someone that we could get depth-wise for the team, someone that's a two-way guy, help with the defensive part of the game for the team. Connor Zeri. We already got right wingers. I think the biggest thing is either left winger or centerman. Andrew Kopp, he has 2 years left on his deal. There's not a lot out here, man. Unless we do Bjorkstrand. He played pretty good defensively while he was in Seattle, but they won't. No, I don't want to trade that away. What about defensemen? What are available out there for the defense corps? Maybe we just stick with what we got. We've done it so many other times where we've just decided to go all in and then it never works. So I've had quite a season. Tripped my new captain 48 games in. Fired my coach with 1 game left. Holy crow, dude. Fucking changing everything up there. We're not going to make a single change with the Minnesota Wild. We're going to just leave what we got. Leave with what we got. And see how good of a season we'll end off. I think that'll probably be about it for the stream. Because like I said, I didn't want to stream for too long. But I might have a stream tomorrow. Like I was saying. So there we go. Honestly, that is the best season we have ever had with the Minnesota Wild. Off to a rocky start to begin with. But we end the season with a 50-27-5 record. With a great plus and minus differential of 63. Our power play was 31%. Our PK struggled as always, but I think this was definitely a very good outcome in the regular season. Now, big thing is how well we will do during the playoffs. During the playoffs, we've done always quite good going up into the conference finals. Now we got a new ally on the team here in Mr. Austin Matthews, who put up a killer season, 56 goals, 56 assists for 112 points on the season, with Matt Baldy having 101 points, tying up his career high. And then you also got Kirill Kaprizov having 94 points on the season as well. Riley Haight, his first full season in the NHL, 74 points with Riker Lee, Kirby Dach playing amazing. Holmarts, Rabukin, Novak dropped down a bit, which sucked. But our depth still, like, they actually finished off the season quite well. We just believed in the team with what we had, and they did pretty good. Guilford played good with the limited time he had. Jesper Wallstedt struggled this year with taking more games on. He took an extra 6, but definitely did not put up the same record as what he did last year, which kind of sucked. But oh well. Defensively, Zane Pareke, fucking insane season, 72 points. I'm really hoping he develops. That's my biggest hope right now out of him, is that he continues to develop with Ryan O'Rourke, Kane Goulet, Korzak, Trethaway, and Fierro. So in the first round, we're going to be going up against the Utah Hockey Club. In Minnesota are going to be going up against each other. We got Dallas and Seattle, Edmonton and San Jose, LA and Chicago. We got Montreal, Buffalo, Detroit, New York, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, and in Carolina and Columbus. So that will be in the next live stream. I know I only streamed for about an hour, but I didn't want to stream for too long. But I did want to stream for a little bit. I don't know if there'll be a podcast out. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. We'll see how I feel when I wake up. I'll let you guys know in the Discord. Check out the Discord if you want to know when I'm going to be live next. It's kind of always the area where you'll kind of know that I'm going to be streaming next. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Adios, amigos.